Hello and welcome. I'm Alison Lagrange and this is our business show, Enterprise Zone. On this show, we share with you inspiring stories of entrepreneurs from around our beautiful country, South Africa. We give these entrepreneurs an opportunity to voice their challenges of starting and maintaining profitable businesses. Small and medium enterprises have been identified as the productive drivers of inclusive economic growth and development in South Africa and around the world. Some researchers have estimated that in South Africa, small and medium-sized enterprises make up to 91% of formalized businesses. They also provide employment to about 60% of the total labor force, and the total economic output accounts for roughly 34% of GDP. In this first part of this episode, we interview a food production company called Okubabayo, which is based in Chamdor near Kagiso. We had a chat with Mpumi Mani and his partner, Dexter Mabaso, about their business. Let's take a look.
So my name is Mpumi Mani. My title in the business is Chief Operating Officer. So I handle operations inside the warehouse, coordinate with drivers, and kind of make sure that things are operating the way that they should be.
My name is Dexter Mabaso. I play the role of the Chief Executive Officer of the business. And my role basically is just to make sure that everything operates as it should. I also obviously liaise with a bulk of the clients and just make sure that the ship is running the way that the ship's supposed to run. So when there's trouble, I'm the man who ends up getting burnt.
Okubabayo is a very catchy name, and we found that it's resonated really well with the public. And the way that it came up is that the business was founded not only by us, actually was founded by three people. Myself, Dexter, and another partner and good friend of ours, Rob Dobson. He's no longer with us officially in the business. For personal reasons, he had to leave. And sadly enough, he wasn't here to give input on that because the name actually came from his side. He got a colleague of his who he asked, what's going to be a good name that's going to represent the product which we had in mind was always Atchar. What's going to be a good name that's going to resonate with people? And we played with all sorts of names like Zamalek, which is what people know as black label beer and whatever. We wanted something that was going to really just strike people, really just grab their attention. And we played with a few names, but Okubabayo ended up being the one that stood out and one that we thought, let's go with this. And we haven't looked back since.
Mpumi and I have been friends for the longest time. I don't even remember, can't even tell you how many years.
10 plus.
10 plus, yeah. And we've always had this idea that we want to go into business, and we played around with a few other businesses, which unfortunately didn't make it. But that was a stepping stone to this business. And so it really started off as a joke, to be honest. It wasn't a serious concept to say, let's leave everything and do Atchar. Because we all come from different backgrounds. Mpumi comes from an accounting background. I myself come from a transporting background. Rob comes from an IT background. So none of us, in actual fact, I think the best we can do is cook an egg. So Atchar was really a shot in the dark. We went to lunch, and then it really became a serious matter. And then we started investigating it step by step. Raiding our parents' kitchen, making sure that we really mess with the spices and the mango and so forth. Then it ended up really becoming a business, and then that's where we are today. We never look back, like you said, yeah.
Yeah, the concept of the business was always interesting to us because we knew that we wanted something South African, something authentic, authentically South African. Yeah. So when the idea of Atchar came, it really resonated with us. It's something that sparked our interest. And when we looked into it, the business side of it, how do we actually put this thing together? The mango, the spice, the oil. Does this thing come together as easily as it seems, or is there more to it? We started the investigation and we found that wow, it's relatively simple to put together. But obviously we had a wider vision for where we want to take the thing in future. The opening funding was actually personal, so that was shareholder funding that we put together. It was a big sum that we sort of scratched together and put into making the product what it is. So what do I mean by that? The product is Atchar, which is typically associated with sort of lower LSM part of the market. And we knew from the onset that we want to take the product that's typically known as the street product, the corner product, the lady from the lady from down the street, the man from in the township who you know has got the secret recipe. We always knew we wanted to take that sort of concept and clean it up and bring it up to not only be a lower LSM kind of a product, but move it up to the full range. Last year, we made a turnover of about 750. And I think also that was partially attributed to the fact that we were not 100% full-time in the business, which obviously meant that our time was split between our day jobs and our night job, which would start from 5 to about maybe 5 the next morning, depending on the day. So a lot of investment was made into what goes into our label. A lot of investment was made into quality assurance and also product presentation, which was important. And I think the biggest difference was we did engage a financial institution, which then obviously did put some funding into the business, which then allowed us to obviously become full-time employees of our own business, slaves if you'd like to call it, of the business. And I think that's what made the biggest difference. So far, just this year, I think we've turned over about 2.2, and that's from January up till now. It's about 2.2 million rand, just turnover up until now. We're hoping to close our financial year at about 3 or 3 and a bit. So yeah, so that means on a monthly, we're doing between 300 and 350,000 per month. We started ourselves from the packing, to the labeling, to the delivering, to the servicing, to absolutely every function in the business. We started ourselves. But now, currently, we are employing 13 people. One of the most rewarding things is that we've been able to train people up from scratch, with the knowledge that we've picked up ourselves, which is really good. Which is really good. Most of our advertisement kind of spend goes onto promotion. So what we do is we chose a different model to some of the other companies. Normally what the companies would do is they would engage with a distribution company to distribute their product, and then obviously an advertising agency to then do the rest. We knock on every door ourselves, so you know that client list belongs to us. And then so what we do is we'll engage the client. Once we've closed the deal with the client, as soon as their shop gets busy, we'll then do a promotion.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm good, yourself?
Thank you. I'm speaking to Caroline, and this is Pretty from a company called Okubabayo. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, yourself, guys?
I'm good. From this company called Okubabayo, we are the Bengo Atchar suppliers.
We've been quite fortunate in that we've been invited to quite a few events during the year. So there's a few smaller markets that we do, but our biggest this year would have been, we've been to the Rand show this year, which we did quite well at, quite a good reception there. We did the DSTV Good Food and Wine show, quite a good reception there as well. What other shows have we done this year?
DSTV Delicious,
yeah,
and then the Good Food and Wine. That's actually 2 different shows.
Oh yeah, those are 2 different shows. Yeah. So yeah, Good Food and Wine was its own show. So out of this year, I'd say the 3 big events would have been DSTV Delicious, Good Food and Wine show at the Dome, and the Rand show. Entry into the market wasn't as easy as what we anticipated. We thought that if we put together a sort of professional product, it's going to find its way onto all the shelves. And only to find that it was much more difficult. All the stores that I'll tell you about, we actually approached door to door. We're supplying over 380 outlets all over Gauteng, reaching over into Northwest, a little bit of KZN, a little bit of Mpumalanga as well.
ranging from Spa. Spa is our biggest sort of client, which most number of stores. We're supplying 100 plus spas all over. We like to say that if you're in Gauteng, if there's a spa around you, we're probably there. And then there's Save Right as well. OBC Butchery, Roots Butchery, which you find, Roots Butcheries you normally find any township has a Roots Butchery in it. And so, like I said, we started in the lower LSMs and found ourselves moving higher and higher up. Some of our biggest closes has been with Massmart. We've signed and listed with Massmart, but have yet to start supplying them. So we, as a small business, still need to make things, need to be sure on how we put our best foot forward in terms of supplying the bigger end guys. So there's Cambridge Foods, which we're looking forward to rolling out into. Another big signing of ours is Boxer Superstores.
You should try it.
I will definitely try it. But this is nice.
Actually, that's the most selling one.
That one you're gonna have it for your lunch.
I think our biggest contribution has been job creation. Only 13 at this point in time, small number, but I think to them it would be a good ratio, yeah. Because now they're able, I mean, some of our workers have been able to change schools for their kids. They've been able to change where they're staying. We're hoping to kind of push them into a space where now they can get them driving, And the other thing is giving the public a product they can trust, and a product that's affordable, and a product that they can, really call their own. Because Okubabayo, as much as it belongs to us, it actually belongs to the public more than it does to us. We just the people who have to make sure that it keeps running, keeps growing.
We found that there was huge resistance to black suppliers in the market.
True.
So we had to go sort of the extra mile in every way, in our presentation, in the flavor, in the delivery, in what we promise. To be able to win the people over. It's something that we're fighting, we're very passionate about it, and something that we hope to change. It's part of what we hope to change, which is the reputation of black business, the reputation of black suppliers and the things that they supply. I have to mention that because it was a challenge. You get to a place, they find out who you are, and then not as enthusiastic as they were over the phone, or not as enthusiastic as they were, so those are some of the things that we've had to fight over, not whine over. We like the challenge, we take the challenge head on, and we've managed to be relatively successful.
A lot of the guys would say to us, no, we don't want to stock you because once our clients start to buy from you, and then you're going to disappear. And that's something that we never anticipated would happen. But we're also grateful for that challenge.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for thinking about us. Thank you very much, ladies. Have a great day.
Expect your order on Thursday.
On Thursday, we'll make sure that is the first.
So we'll arrange for the month end to do a promotion.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
100%.
We'll do a promotion.
We like to say when people taste the product and they really get excited about it. So part of what we want to do, we always say, as they taste it, we say, our stuff is the mover and shaker, So that's really how we define ourselves. We want to be the movers and shakers of the FMCG space. We really want to make an impact. We want the people to feel us, we want the market to feel us. And the way we envision doing that is by including much more brands, much more products. We've got, the first target was break even for us, and at that point we thought, okay, let's reach break even, and from there, let's now think about the products, new products that we could bring into the existing network and market that we want. So, South Africa, look out. We want to bring out new products. I won't reveal any now, but we've got a few in our minds. Good names, good stuff, good flavor, and that's what we want to be known for. Good flavor. Things that remind you of home. Things that just make you remember, wow, here's a South African company that is authentically South African. It wasn't by mistake that we've kept the Atchar tub in the typical clear and red lid packaging. We took what was in the street and we cleaned it up, saying, what is in the street doesn't necessarily mean poor quality. What's in the street doesn't necessarily mean not good for the international market. We want to put ourselves out there as you know, this third world country that can produce some very first world products, some very first world services. And I think as we expand in that way from if judging from what we've done in the first 2 years, you know, we project you know, an exciting next 3 years. So maybe come back and talk to us in year 5 and we'll have a better story to tell.
What an incredibly interesting story from Mpumi Mani and Dexter Mabaso. Great job, guys. Keep pushing. After the break, we bring you more on entrepreneurship. Do stay tuned.